Hey, welcome to Fatal Vision Podcast. This is James McGinnis, and we've got Billy Litton here too. Billy, what do they have to say about you? Wow, they're pretty fired up that you're with us tonight again, as always, because it's always us. But
Yeah, I'm always here, co-host. Hey, can they see the
yeah, well, yeah. So let's just get this out of the we'll just get it out of the way then.
Okay.
Uh, I wanted to play a little bit. We just had so much luck this week with getting this amazing Larry King interview up that everyone's been clamoring to hear for months and months and months from 2003. And I just saw, we were looking ahead at what we were going to read tonight, and it's starting to Pruitt and Kearns are starting to dig in to MacDonald's extramarital activities. And this is such good timing because MacDonald spoke about this in his last couple of public. There was a public statement in 2003 I'd like to play for you, Billy, and the private statement regarding this same year. So
And then just so folks know, we'll be reading the book after this.
yeah, I never said we wouldn't be, but
I never said that you said we wouldn't be.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure anybody tuning in, because some people, that's all they want to hear.
I mean,
So I'm making sure
usually-
they know.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm just making sure they know. I don't know why this has to be some kind of attack.
It's not
Just-
an attack.
All right. Well, you're reacting defensively. So.
You okay?
Is that not okay, man? That I
that
told
okay?
them? That I told
No,
them
it's not
that.
okay. I mean, I think I guess I should have cleared this with you first. That I'm going to play these clips, and I said because we're getting into the part of the book with Pruitt and Kearns going into the extramarital affairs, so I think that kind of implied we were going to be reading the book. But you're right; it might have been. It's
There are some people that just want to hear us read the book, and I was happily letting them know that would be happening.
All
And
right.
I stand by that.
I don't. Yeah, I don't. I'm not asking you to stand down. I'm asking
Well-
you to step. I'm asking you to step up.
If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. Is what I always say. So
Oh, I love that. I love that one.
thanks, man.
Oh, what's so funny is that we're so tiny right now, so they can't even see that we're like laughing and smiling through all this. They might think it's a real, there's real friction.
Yeah.
I mean, usually, I was just going to say, usually in the first 20 minutes, we're just sort of, we're shooting the bull about work, people at work that were not interested in the podcast, that expressed interest nominally and then dropped it.
Oh, we'll talk about that later.
We'll get to that. All right. I was just pumped. I wanted to just get your thoughts, Billy, and
Okay.
then
Okay.
obviously we'll move right on.
Well, first of all, I never had an affair. I had, again, what we call one-night stands. I'm not proud of that. I'm just saying there's a difference. I didn't have a secret girlfriend anywhere or anything like that. So,
Okay, so that's one. That's what he said in November of 2003.
Yeah.
It's pretty convincing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And now we'll just jump right over to this other tab. This is not, without Corey tonight, we got to kind of just do our best with like jumping around to different tabs. But then I have another one where he's on the same subject in a private interview. Here's what he has to say on that topic.
My hope the last several years has been to sort of pre-prepare the public, but mainly I mean the judges, because that's all that counts anymore, and a possible second jury, although I don't think it'll ever get that far. I think if we win a DNA hearing, it's going to be overturned and that'll be it. I am trying to somehow pre-prepare the public about all this false bullshit that's out there about me. I'm not narcissistic. I'm not crazy. I don't have problems. I didn't murder my wife and family. My great sin in life is I had a couple one-night stands. Big goddamn deal. I mean, who didn't in the 60s?
Oh, it's beautiful. So beautiful.
The 60s were a weird time.
Yeah, I mean, who didn't? Big goddamn deal.
Who didn't in the 60s?
I like that he said, "I don't have problems." That's a pretty bold statement. He's seriously. I mean, even if he was innocent, he would have problems. I mean, but anyway, it's just a different tone on the subject about I'd imagine, and again, this isn't fair, and we have MacDonald defenders in the wings. That if one were to survive home invasion, wiped out your wife and children, I'd imagine that one might feel actually extraordinarily guilty, about being unfaithful in that marriage, and rather than like, fuck you, I don't care. The normal psychological profile of a survivor of a slaughter is someone with survivor's guilt, and to personalize everything.
Yeah. I mean, longtime listeners to this podcast will, of course, remember episode 25.
25. If you haven't heard it lately, you should go back and listen to it.
Yeah.
Don't stop listening to this.
Yeah. After this, go to that.
Yeah.
And we explore the idea of self-justification and the perils of it, and it's all Jeff really does, self-justify. Yes. So.
Well,
well, wait a second. What's the big deal? Like, I had some affairs in the 60s. It was the 60s. That's what everybody was doing.
Yeah. Well, no, he stuck to the one night stand line.
The one night stand, not affair.
But he really had that talking point down on both private and public answers, and that's a very important distinction. And the first question I'll say, his answer, Larry King, this is the most aggressive he got in that interview. Is this? Do you see any similarity between you and Scott Peterson? And he's like, well, for one thing, I didn't have a secret girlfriend. I had a couple one-night stands. I'm not proud of it. Yeah, so that was his last big appearance, and it was a big get for us. Obviously, to get it up, I got dragged a little bit for not having the video of it.
You did?
Yeah. So one guy's like, "What's going on? Would have liked to see the video. What do you got? Copyright fears?" It's like, yeah, I'm so afraid. Copyright fear. Like, I just don't have it.
It's weird that person attacked your character, attacked your manhood.
It was well, I think this is part of episode 25 too. It's like, why do we have to just take everything so personally?
Mm-hmm.
It's not I have nothing to defend. I'm just a storyteller here, spinning my narrative.
Right.
And the other thing that was disturbing to me was that we posted this in the Facebook group, the special Facebook group that we are in. This first comment was a guy who was like, "Man, you know what I'd really like to see is the 60 Minutes interview. I've looked everywhere for it, and they've taken it. It's been wiped off the internet." And I was like, "It's on my channel." And I'm just like, God, there's still people who are looking for that, Googling it and can't get it. Can't find our channel. I mean, we need more word of mouth. We got to do our jobs.
Just a reminder that our work is not done.
The work is barely begun. I intend to live a long time,
and I have the patience of Job.
The patience of Job to get this channel where it needs to be.
All right.
Look, Billy, why don't you catch? We didn't have a chance to warm up tonight, as people know. Some people even said they were going to take a nap so they could stay up for us.
Are people here right now?
I see. Currently, there's 11 people on.
Holy shit!
So that's pretty crazy. Yeah. Last time we think we got about 2, plus us. So what's been going on, man? Like I didn't get the chance to talk to you. Like you've been good. You're eating well, all that stuff.
I haven't been eating that well.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I just had a cheeseburger earlier tonight.
Well, I mean that's.
I'm not
well, I mean,
proud. I'm not proud.
I wasn't saying are you eating. Are you making bad choices? I just mean are you nourished? Like you're eating. That's good. You're not going without food.
Yeah,
So,
and as you know, after I got my wisdom tooth out, there was a time when I wasn't eating much.
you were eating mostly soft foods. I would guess.
Applesauce.
If you can't suck it through a straw, it's not happening.
Well, actually, I'm not allowed to use a straw either, but
Oh, sorry. I'm making a lot of assumptions. That makes an ass out of me.
and you and me.
Oh, and I certainly wouldn't have wanted to put you in the same.
No, it's okay.
Oh.
So yeah, I got my wisdom tooth out a couple weeks ago. I'm bouncing back. I hit the gym earlier this week. I'm gonna play some basketball on Saturday.
Oh, so you're. That's pretty scary, actually.
Really?
No, I mean just the similarities to.
Me and Mac.
Yeah, I mean, well, he did basketball, full court basketball, and
Full contact.
boxing. Full court press, 4 quarters, NBA rules.
Yep.
And then he went and worked out with the boxing team, and then he fed the pony.
Yeah.
So that's that story.
Yeah. What's been going on with you, man?
Oh yeah, well I did get to I made a new friend in the MacDonald world. I won't say their name, but somebody who was a big player in the online community, and talked to her on the phone, and she said she thought she might have a copy of the April 6th tape in her house, but she couldn't find it. So, I mean, it just feels like we're just right there. We're gonna find it sooner or later.
Yeah. Do you know
And,
that? You know that song by U2 called "Still Haven't Found What
Still
I'm
haven't
Looking
found what I'm looking for. Yeah,
For"? Yeah.
it's like it doesn't matter. I was just like, if we ever actually heard it, what would change for us? Would it really be? Would it take away the pain of the world?
No.
No, I'm afraid not. But I did have a nice talk with her, and we were talking about how MacDonald still is alive, and these other people are not alive. And she said, and I thought this was very apropos to what you were mentioning earlier about episode 25 and our view of self-justification and the ego and harm and fallen world. And this person said, perhaps God is keeping him alive so that he'll have a chance to repent.
Oh.
And I thought that was an incredibly merciful and piercing, forgiving sentiment that made me get introspective, because I spend most of my time not wanting him to repent. So where does your heart, like, do you feel with MacDonald that you wish that he would, or that he could, or do you think God can facilitate that, or what's out of our hands?
It's definitely out of our hands.
Yeah, it's no question. It's no question. It's out of our hands.
Yeah. So is the question whether
Well, yeah. I mean, does that strike you in any way? Like, do you think he's what is he too far gone to be saved?
Well, Rowan Williams has this interesting idea about sin being the result of our humankind, or the result of humankind in our insistence on saying no to the grace of God. Mm-hmm. And as we continue to say no over and over again and participate more and more in our own destruction, cooperating with evil, turning away from the good, we get further and further from an ability to freely choose that. Yes, we become enslaved by the self that we've created, the world that we've created for ourselves. I think could Tony Soprano have just walked away? At a certain point, it just becomes you. But of course, Rowan would say that God doesn't become impatient or disgusted with anything he or she or it has created, and so the possibility of a new life and repentance is always there, even for the most hopeless cases. Sure. But I think it's a piercing insight, though, when you look at, this is an idea we've explored at length on this podcast, but when you look at not only the destruction wrought on the night of February 17th, 1970, but in all the years that followed, as MacDonald has continued to live in that lie and in the no to the possibility of grace and repentance. Just no, no, no. I will not accept. I will not confess. I will not make it right. I'll make no effort to do so. In fact, I will lie to the point that I will torment people that stand athwart my lie. Now, if you're getting into questions about the ultimate destination of souls, that's a whole other. That's a whole other.
I think that might put us off. Of course, it's a worthy topic. I guess we should stick to what can be accomplished in this lifetime, and what's possible. And I guess more than that is introspection. How much grace do I have for the man I hate the most?
Would you say that you hate Jeffrey MacDonald the most?
Oh, I don't know who else I would. Yeah, I don't think there's anybody who would even come close to that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's pretty ugly, isn't it?
Mm.
To say that I hate him.
Yeah.
Well, that's how we got here, though. We're turning it, we're using it. It's energy. It's just energy.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to find mercy for him when I find recordings like these where he's calling Fred Kassab's race into the question 10 years after he died. We could this is kind of against the spirit of leading with grace and mercy to be like, oh, look, here's one more terrible, ugly thing that he said. But there it is. So yeah, if you look for consciousness of guilt, you will find it.
Well, I don't really think it would be our place to attempt to be gracious to him or to be forgiving of him because, he did do something to your family.
Yeah, in a litigation sense,
Yeah.
certainly. Yeah, there's
But
that.
ultimately,
Yeah.
ultimately, the only ones that can forgive him for what he did are no longer here.
That was what. That was the. That was the bargain. That was he saw to that.
Right,
Um,
right. And then
so
their family that survived. So
true. So yeah, it's not my place to speak on forgiveness at all on this topic, I suppose. Um, but it came up in conversation, and I thought it was worthy of bringing to you because you always have something to say that offers some a deeper level on things.
oh, that's very nice of you that you would say that about me.
Oh, I hope you know I think the world of you.
Oh,
If I haven't told you that, I'm sorry. I have a lot to atone for.
oh, I appreciate that, man. I think
Yeah.
the world of you as well.
Good.
Oh, hey, Richard. I'm looking at the chat. Richard, we weren't here until 10:55. I was running late, so you didn't miss anything.
Oh, thank God. Thanks for addressing the questions.
But I think Jeffrey MacDonald. It's like that David Bentley Hart book, the Doors of the Sea, which is about like
Sure.
where is God in the tsunami, and so we live in a world with like horrible suffering and death and evil, and there's natural evil where like a tsunami wipes out 250,000 people, and then you have like the evils that are committed by people against each other, but there's no real moral reason to make a distinction there because like whatever energy has been set into motion by the creation of the universe that results in these horrific things, it's all really the same shit.
Yes.
And so to look at the crimes of Jeff MacDonald, it doesn't teach us anything about finite existence that we don't already know from just looking at human history across thousands of years. But what Fatal Vision gives us is this ability to kind of stand back and just look at the workings of a truly diseased mind, a mind
Yes.
that is so consumed with itself and its own glory and its own effort to justify itself, that you can come away from it with a deeper understanding, I think, of the nature of a fallen world and our the people's capacities to harm each other. And then I also think that like part of the reason we're able to spend so much time making fun of Jeff is that ultimately evil is just a privation of the good. It has no substance of its own. It's revealed as completely insubstantial and absurd on its face. Like it's why he's so funny,
Yes.
His
He's
his bullshit. It's just so good. It's so good.
yeah. I think there's something about that. There's something that sets us apart, and then then obviously the hundreds of people that are with us that have this appetite for hearing MacDonald talk and enjoying it in this perverse way. That I can't. It's so you did an incredible job of articulating why it's so funny and amusing because it's also it's cathartic because it's someone who's given over completely to evil who is constantly so unwitting and just self-destructive. He's constantly saying things that are getting himself deeper into prison indictments and onward. Like he's just constantly saying lies upon lies that are demonstrable, and it's just a certain cockiness too that's just so self-assuredness, I think.
Right. Yeah, it ends up being very funny. Catharsis is the right word. It is cathartic when you are able to just hold up his shit and examine it, and
Yeah.
and
Which is
it's
why
like
I think
it's like you can't actually fucking sorry, we can bleep that.
Yeah, it's up. We're on a delay today,
Okay,
so they'll delete it.
you can't actually fool me. You don't actually have power over me. Because I'm looking at it. I'm looking at your shit.
Yeah. Well,
So
and so that's, I think, to sort of tie it up in a bow is why April 6th to the MacDonald diehards is the Holy Grail, because it was the moment where he was confronted and with by just normal people, and was made into a cartoon, really. His underestimation of them was so severe that he couldn't resist saying it. Like, "You're more thorough than I thought." Like, how could you?
it's so funny. There's some activity in the chat.
Sure. Let's check. Let's see what
we got. We got people here.
Oh yeah, we're in the 20s.
All right, so let's do some reading.
Yeah, second to the reading.
So as always, folks in the chat, thank you for.
Thanks for taking this journey with us tonight, for one thing.
And we'll do some reading, and then we'll address your comments and questions.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do the mailbag later. So we didn't. You know where you are in the text tonight.
Fill us in.
We'll fill you all in. Last week we heard from Vivian Stevenson and then Bob Stevenson in their statements to the Pruitt and Kearns reinvestigation team, sharing their memories of Colette mostly, but also the MacDonald family. And then we ended with Judy MacDonald giving a statement where she thought that her brother was capable of killing if he were provoked. And then her later, to use a 21st century vernacular, she later walked that back. Upon speaking to someone else, saying, "I meant that anyone could kill anybody."
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, that's so now we're moving into,
what are we getting into here?
Pruitt and Kearns are moving into
River Truth is here, so I'm taking off my hat.
In honor of River.
I know River likes it when I don't wear my hat. Thank you for that comment.
Yeah, that was a good feedback, solid feedback. I'm glad we're taking the comments seriously.
Just trying to give you guys what you want.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess we'll just rip into it. I think there's a section here where we're going to hear a little bit more about the party atmosphere in San Antonio, and then there's a couple other quick hits. I think we could probably get through the Ron Harrison statement. Let's see what we got. Let's let it roll.
All right, folks. Anybody reading along
Billy,
at home?
Yeah.
So Pruitt and Kearns are scrutinizing Jeffrey MacDonald's life.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to take us in?
Yeah. Will you please take us into the spirit of the text? If you could lead us into this.
To thine own self be true.
Yes, to thine own self be true.
An area of MacDonald's life that Pruitt and Kearns placed under particularly close scrutiny was the time he had spent at Fort Sam Houston, Texas, just after his induction into the Army. McDonald had not lived on post, but at the Sheridan Motor Inn on Austin Road in San Antonio. Kern spoke to a doctor who had shared the motel room with McDonald. About the only thing that sticks out in my mind, the doctor said, is the party we had the weekend after arriving in San Antonio. The party was held in a room directly under ours, occupied by 2 Army nurses. There were about 6 or 7 nurses and 8 or 9 men, including members of a band that was playing at the motel. Everybody was drinking cold duck, and I got bombed out. The party lasted all afternoon and well into the night. One of the nurses spent a lot of time with Jeff and seemed to get to know him quite well. Jeff dated her for a couple of weeks after the party, and one night he must have asked me if I would sleep somewhere else so he could have the room. I don't remember him asking me, but he must have, because I stayed downstairs in the nurse's room with the same nurse who had been dating Jeff.
Wait a second. I'm sorry. My brain is just like pure sludge right now.
My wits are strained by this.
My wits are straining to keep up with this. This is the most complicated scene I've ever been a part of. All right, so let's keep this straight. Jeff was dating one Army nurse. He dated for a couple of weeks after the party, and one night he must have asked me if I would sleep somewhere else so he could have the room.
Oh. So he stayed downstairs in the nurse's
room with the nurse who had been dating Jeff.
Okay, so the next line will shed some light on this.
Oh, phew. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Joe. We don't need to second guess you. You can just, yeah.
We trust you, Joe McGinnis.
We trust you. You know what you're saying.
I don't know who Jeff had in our room that night. The nurse who had been dating Jeff appeared to be hurt because she liked him. Oh, man, it was right there.
Yeah, that's weird. I thought that he only had one night stands. This is already seemingly contrary to his statement, his 03 revisionism. Feelings. People were having feelings. People caught feels.
Then Jeff somehow became friendly with the manager of the motel and used to go out a lot with that gang. This manager was supposedly married to a model in New York, and he really lived an incredible life.
Yeah, sure.
Throwing wild parties and things like that. I'm remembering that. I remember the letters that Jeff was writing about, like, hanging out with Joe Namath's secretary.
Possibly met Joe Namath. I think I might have been introduced to Walter Cronkite at a party. Now I'm at a motel manager in San Antonio. Is the most incredible, the beautiful people, the ultra rich.
Yeah. Jeff met a divorcee who worked as a stewardess for American Airlines, and they spent a lot of time together. She had a really outstanding body, but was not terribly good looking. After the course was over and Jeff had gone, I was there a few days longer. One day I met the stewardess at the pool. I got the impression that she really liked Jeff and was very sad because she was never going to see him again. I reminded her that a lot of the guys who attended school there were married and liked to have a good time, but then they had to go back to their families. I got the distinct impression that I got the distinct impression that she might even have planned on packing up and following Jeff.
Do we like this guy? I don't really like this guy very much. The other doctor. But, oh well. Anybody know his name? Feel free to throw it out in the chat. Okay, well, so what do we think of this guy, though? He seems like kind of a douche, right? It's like, yeah, she had a great body, but she wasn't very good looking. Seems like Jeff's kind of guy, really, Jeff apparently had 2 serious relationships in his time in San Antonio where people were getting their heart broken pretty fast.
Yeah. An agent then interviewed the nurse who had dated McDonald early in the summer. I knew he was married, the nurse said. He never told me, but after about 2 weeks after I knew him, I just finally asked how his wife was. He said fine, and that was it. He did not talk about his wife, but he did mention his 2 children. He told me all the cute little things that kids do that wives like to tell husbands and husbands like to spread around. The only problem he ever mentioned was that his older daughter wet the bed, and he was hoping that the younger one would not start too. The nurse added that as the summer progressed, Jeff sort of split off from the group of friends he first had and began running with the manager of the motel and some other guy who seemed to be one of the local nouveau riche. I don't even know how to say that.
Nouveau riche.
Nouveau riche fops. All right, sorry guys.
I'm sorry if that word fop, sounds like it might be really offensive. I don't know what it means.
Do you know what I mean? One of these sleazy looking people. Oh yeah, it's definitely a slur.
Yeah.
Who has made it big all of a sudden. I don't remember what his name was. He was sort of repulsive. I could not see how Jeff could run around with them. Jeff was the perfect gentleman at all times. He was always sophisticated. I guess that was the attraction I had to him. The manager was repulsive. He was squalid, but he thought money would give him anything. It seemed that he and Jeff were personality-wise diametric opposites, and I could not see how they could get along. Oh, and there was also a little guy who lived about 4 or 5 doors down from me. He was thin, black hair, small, thin-faced, with a little pointed chin, and he used to double date with Jeff and his stewardess along toward the end of the course. This guy tried to attack me while I was asleep one night, and I told Jeff about it the next day, and Jeff almost duked him out. But nothing permanent happened to their relationship. They continued double dating these stewardesses. The sergeant who had been working as an undercover narcotics agent who had infiltrated several parties at the motel during the time of MacDonald's residence reported that MacDonald had also dated a blonde with a beautiful body named Mary and a Swedish exchange student from a San Antonio college who, according to authorities at the college, was a very uninhibited, promiscuous girl who might be a good prospect for any man desiring sexual relations.
Even the pencil thin mustache sleaze could have a chance. But
I'll take us to the end of this.
Yeah.
During the months of June, the agent reported a party was held at this motel at which the special forces were the host. During this party, things got out of hand and the police were called. The personnel at the party were in the swimming pool nude, and just about everything imaginable was happening. Everything imaginable. I'm like,
yeah, wait.
Whoa,
yeah,
whoa.
This is fucked up.
I'm not sure I want to imagine.
I don't. You don't want to bring my imagination into this. Yeah.
It was also learned that at the jump parties there was it's also learned that at the jump parties there was performed what is called a special forces wedding. This was explained as being what they call a sandwich, when a girl performed oral sodomy on a man while a man performed anal sodomy on a girl.
Sorry. You want? Yeah. Sorry. I don't know what happened.
Woo! There are pictures of this scene, but they had gone underground, the agent reported. When it was learned this investigator was in the area, it was apparent that these parties turned into regular orgies where anything and everything goes, from drugs to any sexual act. Jeffrey MacDonald, of course, had not been at the Sheridan Motor Inn in June, but he had attended a jump party in December, and to Pruitt and Kearns, it was beginning to seem clear that he had been less than candid when he testified at the Article 32 hearing that only, quote, very, very infrequently, unquote, had he had a sexual relationship with a woman other than his wife.
Yeah. What?
Good section.
It was this. That was wild. That's not much. And what is that? 5 in a month? December of '69. Seems like 5 different
Wow.
girls, and 2 hearts broken. You know, the divorcee stewardess was ready to pack up and follow him to Fort Bragg, I guess.
What is up with all the people that are willing to give their lives away to Jeff?
Well, I mean, I think that sort of takes us up to where we started at the top of the show, is the harm he doles out is profound. But what does it say about his victims, that they're so easily taken in by him? Is part of the fascination, because it's effortless, really. He can seduce anybody, it seems like.
Remember when the priest on the airplane touched his inner
Priest
thigh?
on the airplane. He's always getting hit on by men, and he's very proud of that.
But he doesn't. He doesn't really like that.
No, he doesn't. He's not crazy about that.
He's proud of it, though.
But I think and then we should remember that at the grand jury, which was going to indict him for murder in like a day, he said that I've had sex with 30 women since I've been in California. I didn't have to chase a single one. Which is, I'm sure it's true, but it's also such a funny thing to tell the grand jury that's going to indict you for murder. So there's something really, it's really hard to nail down about his personality. That's, and I think it's part of what's captivating I guess it's one of the things Joe sort of wraps up the book saying, well, the case is over, but MacDonald, in his magnetic personality, may keep it alive for many years to come, even though he is now gaunt and gray-haired. And I hear that he is trimming the hedges well in Bastrop, Texas. Something like that. But it's. I was saying this to our friend Matt Zoney a few months back. It's like, I've never been in the room with Jeff, so I really don't know. I can't. I just don't get it, because it doesn't come off. It doesn't. You don't catch it, the MacDonald virus. Just hearing the audio, or even when we're lucky enough having the video, or having he reading his words. It's just, there's something flat about this irrepressible charm, but. Everyone, I guess, if you're face to face with him, you're basically putty in his hands, at least for a while.
Right.
And if you have anything you wanted to say about how these people gave themselves over to him, seemingly ready to throw all that they owned away to have a shot at him. It's the most it's sacrifice. Ready to sacrifice your life for him.
Martyrdom. Come, be fishers of men,
Yeah, that's right.
Get up and go.
There you go. Yeah.
All right.
Well, that leaves us with some time to take us into, we're skipping around here with the Pruitt and Kearns crew.
Somebody's calling me. Nah, I'm not taking that.
Don't take that. All right, good job. That was profound. All right. The reinvestigators then began to turn their attention to the life of the MacDonald family. To the life the MacDonald family had appeared to be living at Fort Bragg, a time which MacDonald would later recall as being filled with a sense of ease and a new togetherness. Many of the MacDonald's acquaintances offered support for this contention, but bit by bit, Pruitt and Kearns began to collect pieces of information which indicated that a more complicated range of emotion may have lain not far beneath the surface. Amazing paragraph. Joe is just knifing, micro-knifing everything. One Green Beret friend recalled a minor argument one afternoon. MacDonald and I had gone to his house for lunch on a work day, and Colette appeared a little irritable. MacDonald said he knew what it was all about. He said she was probably taking a diet pill. Colette said that was right. She seemed concerned because she'd had difficulty wearing a new pair of slacks. Okay, that doesn't seem like a really nice way to talk about your wife. A friend of Colette's recalled that she had indeed been taking diet pills prior to her pregnancy, but that she'd stopped because of the wild mood swings brought on by the medication. This is a whole angle with the escatrol that I've forgotten about completely. That Colette was a guinea pig for him. The wife of the warrant officer who had lived next door to 544 Castle Drive told investigators about one particular outburst of temper. Colette was painting outside, the former neighbor said, and the telephone rang and she went in. And when she came back, she said, "Did you hear me screaming at Jeff?" Then she went on to explain that he was downtown and he had just bought this new stereo set for $700 or something like that. She said she blew up over the telephone and told him with all the bills they had to pay, she couldn't see spending the money. Another neighbor reported that Colette had said she could kill Jeff because of the purchase. It later turned out that Perry MacDonald was giving Jeff money to help with their rent or their bills that Colette was never aware of throughout their entire marriage.
But this also, I mean, this tracks though with the theory of February 17th that there was a big fight between them.
Yes, yeah, they're fighting, and taking a fair amount of not three, as MacDonald is fond of saying, 3 pills for 2 months. It seems like you taking them every day. Colette was, and that's how they were taken. That's the only way they work. So they clearly had a vast supply of the medication, and we're not shy about taking it daily. All right, let's pivot, as they like to say on the media, to one of the most intriguing enigmas in the case. As MacDonald's closest friend at Fort Bragg, and as the last person to have seen the family alive, Ron Harrison was someone to whom the investigators spoke at length. He told them, as he had always told everyone, that the marriage had seemed to him to be one filled with love and affection. The only signs of discord he'd ever noted, he said, were along the lines of Jeff saying to Colette, "Hey, what are you watching this for? The ball game's on." Or, "Ronald's out of beer, Colette." Or, "Ron needs some chow." At times like that, Harrison said, she'd jump right up and take care of it. She was really number one, and so were the kids. Ron's emotional intelligence doesn't seem to score very high in that back-to-back assessment, but
yeah. So Jeff is like, "Hey, turn this shit off. Like, I want to watch what I want to watch, and get my friend a drink and cook something. Yeah,
make food for him. And I question your taste. Why would you watch this shit? The ball game's on." It's the most loving. And then how does Joe use? "As he'd always said," and he told everyone it was a marriage that was filled with love and affection. It's quite the paragraph. Quite the. MacDonald himself, however, according to Harrison, had been bitterly disappointed with Colonel Kingston, whom he had so idolized, was transferred to when Kingston had been transferred to Vietnam, and MacDonald's Special Forces group was disbanded. MacDonald had been reassigned to a different group and given a lesser position, preventive medical officer instead of group surgeon. According to Harrison, this development had annoyed him, and he had begun to speak of his desire to get to Vietnam. Jeff was an impatient guy, Harrison said. He was eager to do something. He wanted to go to Nam, to Africa, to South America, to anywhere it came to seem to Pruitt and Kearns, other than 544 Castle Drive. That is deadly from Joe. On post, however, MacDonald had continued the tradition begun at Princeton and carried on through medical school of entertaining large groups of friends. Harrison, who himself visited the MacDonald house 2 or 3 nights a week, recalled a particularly large party at Thanksgiving when MacDonald's mother was down from Long Island for a visit. Another guest remembered there were a lot of people there. Colette had done a tremendous amount of work. I never saw so much food. Jeff spent most of his time taking care of his guests. They had a new color television set, and a lot of the men were watching the football game. Jeff's mother and Colette spent most of the time in the kitchen. I recall they served cold duck, champagne, with the meal because one bottle sprayed all over the ceiling when it was opened. For the cold duck, there was no need of a corkscrew, but Ron Harrison quite clearly remembered an extended discussion about an ice pick. There was a plastic bag of ice in the kitchen, and the ice was all stuck together. As I recall, Jeff asked somebody, Colette maybe, "Where's the ice pick?" He was looking all around for it, in the kitchen drawers and everywhere. He was the host and couldn't find it. He even went out back to look. He said, "Maybe it's with the stuff out there, the barbecue stuff in the shed." So he went outside and looked around, but he came back without it because we finally had to use a screwdriver and the end of my knife, I had a pocket knife, to pry the ice apart and chip it away.
That's the end of that section.
Yeah.
So tell us about the mystery here.
Well, Ronald Harrison is just, as it said, the last person to see the whole family alive, and he's just a mystery in the sense of being someone who hasn't talked to anybody about this case at all, other than in the 70s under subpoena. So he's not someone we have access to his extended thoughts. So this is it's tantalizing to say the least, because he was up there right in the center. And then we know that also the mystery is that Jeff immediately told Dr. Sadoff in April that there was a hot rumor on Fort Bragg that he and Ron were gay lovers, and that Ron had killed Jeff's family in a fit of jealousy.
Right.
And I don't know if that was him beta testing the credibility of trying to frame Ron for the murders or not, but I still to this day don't know what the so-called rumors.
What do you want to do, James? We're in a new section now.
We're in a new section. We're going to be dealing with
Kingston.
The Kingstons. I think we should get through the Kingstons because this is a good stuff.
All right, so I'm gonna
go through the Joan Didion column and all that good stuff.
All right, I'm just gonna let the people in the chat know.
Okay.
More section. This one because some people are watching it like they're just going back to the beginning and they're reacting to things.
Oh, no way. Okay, cool.
That happened, 30 minutes ago.
That's far out.
Yeah. And then take your questions. So if you're watching back at the beginning, jump to the live feed, and you can always go back. All right, we're going. Another frequent dinner guest following her husband's departure for Vietnam was Josephine Kingston. I saw Jeff and Colette twice a week, 3 times a week for a couple of months, she said. I recall we drank cold duck. There's so much cold duck talk.
This is so crazy.
I've never.
He drinks cold duck in the hospital the day of the murder.
Yeah.
He loves it.
Yeah. All right, I bet more cold duck. I recall we drank cold duck, a sort of wine, with our dinner. So they're just having a couple of wines.
Yeah.
Mrs. Kingston also recalled that one of the children would often wet the bed and would then go to the master bedroom and get in Colette's bed. Well, there you go. Mm-hmm. There had been occasions, Mrs. Kingston said, on which she had seen Jeffrey MacDonald at her residence alone. At such times, she said, the two of them had talked. When asked what they had talked about, she replied, "Oh, just everything." She recalled specifically that he mentioned having a brother with some problems, and he was sort of unhappy about that, and that he wanted to go to Vietnam. He was very envious of my husband for his trip. Mrs. Kingston also said, "I don't think, truthfully, that Jeffrey wanted more children." She said he had been disappointed upon learning of Colette's pregnancy. It seemed they had just gotten to a stage in their life where they could leave the children with a babysitter, and now another was on the way. Eventually, the reinvestigators brought up the subject of the Valentine that Mrs. Kingston had sent to MacDonald from Honolulu. "I know it was a silly thing to do," she said. "At the time, I thought it was just a gesture of friendship. When I left for Hawaii several weeks after my husband had been transferred to Vietnam, Jeff and Colette saw us off at the airport, and I gave him a kiss. I remember telling him that this was the first time I had ever kissed him since I had known him." Well,
that's not surprising.
Okay. "Sending the card was just one of those indiscriminate things, absolutely no deep feelings involved." She was asked why she had sent the card to his office and not his home. "Oh, the whole thing was just a joke," she said. Mrs. Kingston was then shown a copy of the Joan Didion column, "A Problem in Making Connections," found in the same envelope that contained the Valentine. The column read, "I am a 34-year-old woman with long straight hair and an old bikini bathing suit and bad nerves, sitting on an island in the middle of the Pacific, watching for a tidal wave that will not come. My husband switches off the TV and stares out the window. I avoid his eyes and brush the baby's hair. In the absence of a natural disaster, we are left again to our own uneasy devices. We are each the model of consideration, tact, restraint at the very edge of the precipice. He refrains from noticing when I am staring at nothing and frightened of the void. At the end of the week, I tell him that I am going to try harder to make things matter. He says he has heard that before, but there is no rancor in his voice. Maybe it can be all right, I say. Maybe, he says." Mrs. Kingston was asked if she'd ever seen the article before. "I don't know," she said. "I may have. It might be something my daughter would send to Jeff. I don't recall sending it. My daughter was writing on my behalf, and she does things like that. Sends clippings from magazines whenever she runs out of things to write about." Colonel Kingston's daughter, who was 22 years old, said when asked about the card, "That is an embarrassing thing. At the time, I never thought anything about it. I was in Hawaii getting cards for several friends in the States when I ran across that card. It reminded me of the time at the airport when Mother gave each of the MacDonald family a kiss on the cheek, even the children. Jeff laughed about it and teased her. I suggested to Mother that we send him the card as a kind of joke about the kiss at the airport. If I had known that anything like this was going to happen, I would certainly never have sent it. So if you knew that the whole family was going to be...
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm so glad you have such a presence of mind not to wish that you hadn't sent it.
In regard to the clipping, she said, I never sent that. Definitely not. I've never even seen it before. I wouldn't send Jeff something like this. It is kind of coincidental, isn't it?
These interviews sound like they went about as well as April 6th in terms of their just sort of talking in circles. But
For their exploratory qualities.
what do you think of that? You find the Josephine and Leslie Kingston credible? Story makes no sense at all.
Yeah.
It's none of my business, obviously, what happened, but I would have liked to have been pressed a little harder. And we did hear that he does later date the daughter quite openly in his New York bachelor days after the 32 is dismissed.
Right.
Not dismissed, yeah. So it's a problem of making connections.
Mm-hmm.
I never sent that. I never sent that. God, it's such a strange coincidence.
Yeah. Oh,
What do you think? What do you think?
I'm with you, man.
You're with me. Bullshit all the way.
Yeah. It was just so funny. It was such a funny joke.
Oh my god! It was just I kissed him. I think they buried the lead again with the He would go over to her house when her husband wasn't home a lot just to talk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just knowing Jeff. It's just not a thing that happens.
All right, man. I'm gonna scroll through.
Yeah, we gotta get through our mailbag here. It's almost Friday the 13th.
Yeah. Well, Patricia says, glad I'm catching this. Okay, yes. I remember seeing the tape of JM supposedly under hypnosis and reliving the crime. Couldn't you guys get a hold of that? And then Christy and others let Patricia know that we've uploaded that.
Oh,
Yeah.
fantastic.
The hypnosis is there. It's a great
It's on the
video.
channel.
Everyone listening to this on Apple and Spotify, we recommend you run, don't walk to the YouTube
Run.
channel.
Sprint. Subscribe. Comment. It's the only way this case can get known again.
Kathy B says, "Is the Innocence Project still working on his case?" I don't know.
I'm gonna say there's a big fat no on that. I don't think they ever did any work on that at all. Although in that 2003 interview, I don't know if he puts Barry Scheck as like as part of the triune lawyer team that he has. I don't think Barry Scheck did even wrote a brief for him.
We are being asked if there's an email. Do we have access to the email?
Oh yes, absolutely. It's fatalvisionpodcast@gmail.com.
All right. Great.
So please send us your tips, your feedback.
So that question was from Richard, who also said, how do you feel about the books by Potter/Boast and Errol Morris?
How do we feel about that one? I don't think they're very good books.
To quote our good friend Gene Weingarten,
Yes.
Errol Morris's book was full of shit.
Full of shit. There. I think that sums it up.
Victoria says, it feels good to laugh at him because he doesn't even feel guilt or shame. Yeah.
That's true. It does feel good.
Norul said, now you guys are twinning. Must have been when I took off my hat.
Oh man. Well, thank you for for being fans and for looking at us and enjoy the attention.
Let's see. Michael says that he knew somebody that did time with Jeff.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Feel
All
free
right,
to write us
gonna-
more about that.
Yep, please do. Okay, there's a bit of a discussion in here about the bedwetting. Did I hear you correctly? This is from Christy. Did I hear you correctly when you read that Jeff mentioned that Kimberly wet the bed and he was worried that Kristen would start doing that? If that is the case, I would say that is further evidence.
Yes, that is what the army nurse stated. McDonald said to her about this, and it seems pretty, because of the way it was framed. Like, I'm worried the younger one's going to start. Makes it seem like it's not just I just mixed up the names. It's the older daughter doing it. That's just one of the and then one of the things I've been curious about, the things I think about on a given day, is how airtight is the science on the urine being tested in the master bedroom as being belonging to Kimberly's blood type. I'm curious what that chemical process is. I'd love to know more about it. Just feel free to throw it in the comments, or otherwise I'll make that another area of study.
Yeah. Christy again. I check your channel every day for new uploads. Any teasers you can give us about upcoming uploads or recordings?
Well, I did see we have a community page, which is there's not a ton going on in there, but I did see someone posted about 2 or 3 weeks ago saying, I'd love for you to post a Mike Malley interview. And we have one that was recorded in 2018-19 that we can edit and upload. So that will be the next thing on the list. That'll be interesting for sure. And
Gotcha.
there's several other McDonald interviews coming, taped interviews. I think he did 2 other Larry King appearances that I'm gonna from going back into the 90s. And yes, you'll get to hear your the Potter and Bost era is in there too. You can make your own judgment on that, Michael or Richard.
Great. So we've got a fella in here, my true crime obsession, who says that he spoke to you last week.
Oh no, it's not a fella. It's a lady. It's Christina. It's a different Christina than people would normally think.
From Suffolk County.
Yes, exactly. We connected on Facebook. Yeah.
She says, my school teachers were classmates with Jeff and Colette. My best friend's soccer coach was Dean Chamberlain.
That's wild. If anybody hasn't heard the Dean Chamberlain interview that's on our channel, it's on your homework for next week. It's phenomenal.
And it looks like Richard and my true crime obsession are going to become friends offline.
Good.
So it's what the Fatal Vision podcast. The Fatal Vision podcast is all about the friends you made along the way.
It's community.
And the love you take is equal to the love you make. So
yeah. Community access. That's what this is about.
Richard, what do you believe was the motivation for Potter and Bost and Morris?
Oh gosh. I don't really care. I mean, it's not that I don't care about your question. I just don't. I think Errol Morris is best friends with Harvey Silverglate, who was MacDonald's lawyer, and I think his motive was you can see pretty clearly that it was to capture the limelight by making another Thin Blue Line, freeing another innocent man from prison. And Potter and Boss were just kind of like, not to denigrate them, but McDonald's the first person to say that book was terribly written. It was kind of just like a Bush League project that the MacDonald Defense Camp initiated in the 80s, and it had several different writers attached to it, and it took 12 years for it to get put together. And I could tell you personally that I know for a fact that Jeff had editorial control over what went in the book. So probably money changed hands from the MacDonald Defense Fund, which we know also went to McDonald's commissary. A great deal of it did. So yeah, I don't, not to denigrate the Potter and Boss, but I just think it was a good, to be a working writer is a rare thing, and that gave them a chance to work.
Yeah.
The evidence in the book is I would put quotes around that word, evidence.
What's the thrust of their argument? Is it Stokely?
Oh, there's a lot of Stokely, a lot of satanic cult ritual abuse stuff.
Mm-hmm.
A lot is made about the brown hair in Colette's hand, which was later tested and proven to be Jeff McDonald's hair. I guess, as much proof as DNA offers. Something? Do I need to sit down and read Fatal Justice at this late date? I don't think I need to do that.
You're not going to live forever.
Yeah. It's not... I think the fact that Errol Morris wrote a more popular book in the same vein 15 years later, and then had a documentary adapted from his own book that debunked his book, seems to see... it sort of seems like that whole pro-McDonald book side of the thing ate itself by its own adaptation. I don't think there's anything in Fatal Justice that wasn't addressed in Mark Smerling's excellent Blumhouse FX production. So anybody who finds any of that evidence compelling, there's a lot of it is looked at very closely, and so on. So,
all right. Well,
yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Let's see.
Is that the end of the line? What else we got? Active night.
There's a lot. We might need to hire somebody to just help curate this. But I'd like to flag for you that your friend Christina said that she has a copy of the Patchogue High Yearbook 1961.
Oh shit! Nice.
If you and you can have it if you want it.
That's very generous. That'd be incredible. Thank you. We'll find a way offline to make it up to you. Appreciate that.
Jana just said the word no.
Okay.
So
you can't please everybody.
And there's some speculation about the Ron and Jeff and the sexual orientation. So we'll take one more question. It's Richard again. Thank you for being here, Richard. What did you think of the documentary False Witness, the Jeffrey MacDonald story?
I don't think about it.
Yeah, so I had an email exchange with Gene Weingarten about all this not long ago, back when he was, emailing me back and stuff like that.
I remember that. Yeah, he actually was emailing with you a little bit before his appearance.
Yeah. So what Weingarten had to say was, this is a a little excerpt of what he wrote to me in April of 2025. Part of it is that I absolutely know that MacDonald did it. So anything trying to appear balanced, in quotes, seems to me to be kind of fraudulent. So,
Yeah. That's as good as you can put it.
and
You know, I'll say something about false witness. There's an interview with Bill Posey and treating him as credible. It's just the Stokely. I'm struck by the Stokely circus element. There's Stokely 7 are given the free reign to spin their stories as they want to. And we've already gone over Bill Posey on this show in great detail as to why he's not to be believed and why it doesn't change the fact that MacDonald killed his family.
right. Someone did ask, why did Gene stop emailing you?
Nobody really asked. Did that?
Yeah.
He didn't
Gene-
stop.
He didn't stop. He responded to the last one. He's a friend of the pod.
Yeah, there's no bad blood. Billy wrote him a nice email praising a non-MacDonald book that Billy read, and Billy and Gene said, "Thanks, man." And
Yeah.
as human beings wanting to connect with other people that we admire, it can sting to not get, "Hey, why don't we start talking all the time?" as part of the email. But we all get boundaried now, and life is all about boundaries and all that. I'm not gonna, it's all about setting your limits. Keeping your emotional energy, and I don't have the emotional energy to respond to Billy. It's thanks, man. Just take care of yourself. Self-care.
What I love about Gene, though, our interview with Gene Weingarten is, I think, part of the canon of
Oh yeah, no question.
MacDonald content. Everyone should go listen to that. But what I love about Gene, among many things, is that once I got him going about MacDonald, he was emailing me like 4 or 5 consecutive times. Like he'd have another thought and come back
Yeah.
and just keep hammering it. And then he, when he logged in to do the interview with us, he was still kind of confused about even like what we were doing or
I don't even know
why.
what is this?
He's like, "What? Well, yeah. What am I?" And then he just talked to us for an hour. And then when a Washington Post journalist was tweeting about thinking MacDonald might be innocent, I alerted Gene via email, and then he went and wrote to the person. So
This is a good egg. He's
got a
active.
lot of love for Gene.
Some people just don't take straight praise very well, and maybe that was what happened there with you and him.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? Maybe he's gonna reach out again.
Anything is possible.
Yeah, empty tomb. There was an empty tomb.
Yeah, and I had a similar exchange with with Bob Keeler recently. Longtime admirer of him, and to connect with him over email. He was very responsive, as you saw. So, and I was able to. He was always very sus about Jeffrey's time as a Fire Island cab driver and about Jeffrey's assault on his brother Jay, and it was quite gratifying to give him some closure, or wrap around on showing him the evidence we've dug up around both those leads that he was working in the 70s. So,
Should we try to interview him?
we should. I think we should. Let's see what the comments say. because we're just so fragile, and asking people to come on the show is just is so hard for us. But I think Bob would.
Yeah.
But I'll leave it to the viewers to decide. We'll take
Unfortunately, okay, we're getting a yes. So that's it. Unfortunately, we can't take more questions because
All right.
James has to go to bed.
Oh, it's after 12. All right. Well, it was an amazing episode, guys. I really think it was one of the best, and I really thank everybody for coming online tonight, and it makes it such a fun experience to be interacting with people in the community. So, if nobody's told you today, we love you, and there's not a goddamn thing you can do about it. Good night. God bless.
Are we still here? Oh, I'm still here. James always just leaves. Well, now that I have you guys here, I can really say what I think. No, I'm just kidding.
Still in the air? Sorry, guys. This is not easy.